Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. In surprising political news, Congressman Donald Payne Jr. passed away yesterday. Payne, a Democrat and a six-term congressman, suffered a heart attack on April 6th and had been unconscious and on a ventilator at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center.
Governor Phil Murphy releasing a statement saying Donald's love will live on in the homes of his neighbors in Newark, who now have access to safe drinking water and the good-paying jobs he helped create for his brothers and sisters in labor. Congressman Payne was 65.
Joining us now to talk about Congressman Payne is the host of New Jersey Politics, Laura Jones. Laura, good morning.
Hi, good to see you both.
Good to see you. This information kind of really came as quite a shock yesterday, didn't it?
It did. It did. He had a heart attack earlier this month. He's been on a ventilator, and there was one report I read on the New Jersey Globe that indicated he had a medical event. His staff it really seemed to downplay it, saying they hope that he's able to return to the floor and he's able to make a full recovery. Meanwhile, he was apparently on a ventilator and not doing well. He had some other pre-existing health conditions as well. But again, this is somebody who is very well liked, very well respected, six-term congressman from New Jersey, kind of a low-key, but nevertheless very effective at what it was that he did. Served in the U.S. House of Representatives since 2012. He succeeded his father, Donald Payne Sr., who was the first African-American congressman from New Jersey. Again, he was known as a tireless advocate for his constituents, fighting for issues like infrastructure investment, public health, gun violence prevention. He served on some key congressional committees and subcommittees, including the House Homeland Security Committee, Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Again, 65 years old, and this is taking a lot of people by surprise. His staff just kind of downplaying the illness almost a week ago. Meanwhile, he was on a ventilator. He leaves behind his wife and three children, triplets.
Mm.
Wow, Laura, now you saw the big bow tie there that he's famous for, something that Governor Murphy even mentioned. Now, his district, is it just Newark, or does it also include some of the surrounding towns there, such as the Oranges, or extending up in that direction?
Right. Yeah. The 10th congressional district, right? It is not just Newark, and it is considered a very, very blue, a very, very safe district. And I think we're probably going to get into that, what happens next. But people from around the area, again, but he is known so much for being from Newark, ran for freeholder, and, kind of took steps similar to his father. Didn't just jump right into Congress. He served locally and worked his way up and really served the state. People throughout the state of New Jersey are reacting. People in Congress, Governor Phil Murphy called him the dedicated and compassionate server. Frank Pallone, another New Jersey congressman, said he was a truly great public servant. Another Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, who served with him in Congress, said he was a beloved public servant, colleague, and dear friend who left behind a legacy of relentless determination in the face of adversity. My email is just filled with condolences from members of the state legislature. Again, a very well liked, very, very well respected public servant.
Yeah, absolutely, Laura. And he really did leave behind that legacy and that reputation. And you touched on a lot of the things that he's done. What are some of the things in your mind that really stood out? And I know we had mentioned and I remember this specifically, starting to get rid of the lead pipes in Newark. And some of the other, what are some of the big, really standout things that he did over the course of his career?
I mean, everything that he did with so much passion. And I think what strikes me is not even so much what he did, but how he did it. He wasn't out there in front of cameras all the time. Mm-hmm. He was somebody who walked the walk. He didn't just talk the talk. And I think that's what really stands out in my mind as the legacy that he leaves behind. Mm-hmm. Somebody, again, so many members of Congress, they're out there for the quick soundbite. They're coming out, showing up when it's convenient. But no, he was somebody who was really dedicated, and that's what stands out most in my mind.
Well, now as we move forward and look at what happens in Congress, what will occur? Is there a process of how his congressional seat is filled?
Yes. And, in New Jersey, it's going to get interesting. All right. So what's interesting? This is the good stuff. No, I shouldn't say. But it's very interesting because of certain filing deadlines, and our primary is on June 4th. His name is going to stay on the ballot, which means he's going to win that primary, right? You can't take his name off the ballot. So committee members, Democratic committee members, are responsible for replacing or selecting his replacement. But again, it's an issue of timing. What's not known, could be easy, it could not be easy, is what is Governor Phil Murphy going to do? He could hold a special election, but it's not sure that he will do that. And again, every time something happens in New Jersey, we kind of outdo ourselves and what to expect and what happens now. So his name's going to remain on the ballot. There is a committee on vacancies that can replace him, but again, that deadline has passed. Technically, a dead man can win an election. The primary victory is pretty much automatic, but what happens after the primary, after the June 17th deadline to certify those results, the Secretary of State would have to declare a vacancy for the Democratic nomination in that 10th congressional district. There are no special primary elections once the candidate is nominated, so the only legal way to fill the vacancy would be for the county committee to pick a replacement. So that will be something that is kind of unfolding. Again, Governor Phil Murphy can hold a special election. That special election could be in September, and it also could be held in November as well. So there are some factors that are up in the air. People are waiting to see what is Governor Murphy going to do. This is a very, very solid Democratic district, probably one of the most strongly Democratic districts in the state. So, again, people are going to be paying attention to what Phil Murphy is doing. And we don't know that at this point.
Interesting stuff. Laura Jones, as always, New Jersey politics, it rivals every reality TV show ever made.
It does, yes.
We appreciate your time this morning, my friend. It's always good to see you.
By the way, there are plenty of people lining up to say that they will or won't. Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, who probably could have had this seat, I should add this, has said he's not going to run. He's a declared candidate for governor in 2025. Wow. Probably could have had this congressional seat, said, according to reports, not going to do it.
Interesting stuff, Laura. We will certainly keep an eye on it, and you'll keep an eye on it for us, and we'll bring you back once there's something new. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, Congressman Tom Kean Jr. recently returned from leading a delegation to Ukraine to meet with President Zelensky. It was part of an effort to support a measure by Congress to approve providing financial support for Ukraine's defense against the ongoing Russia invasion. Here he is with a meeting with Zelensky.
Thank you for having us. It's great to be with you again. Thank you for your leadership and that of the Ukrainian people. We, on a bipartisan basis, as members of Congress, are here for the people of Ukraine, and it was a strong bipartisan vote to ensure that we stood with people of Ukraine and the ideals that you, as a people, espouse, and the fact that you are fighting against illegal Russian aggression. And it's important that we stand with you as fellow leaders of the people who value freedom.
And the House of Representatives did pass supplemental security funding for Ukraine with bipartisan support. Coming up, how a patient who received a life-saving operation at Hackensack Medical Center is giving back with a DIY fundraiser.
Plus, a look at the American Theater Group's new show, Canned Goods.